This video is a sort of a review of how to access your model using BIM360. First of all, you need to make sure after you've started Revit that you are logged in to your Autodesk account. And then you will go to your Open command. And in the Open dialog box, you'll see BIM360. It may be further down the list, but I clicked and dragged it up to the top so that you could, so it's right there on the main screen when I use the Open command. So when you click on this, you'll get these two options here. We want to go to BIM360 Team. And then you're going to double click on your project folder. I see all of them, so that's why you see so many folders for me. I'll just go into this test project and I'll select the file and click open. Now what it's going to do is it's going to download the most current online copy onto my computer, which is what this dialog box is showing. And depending on your internet access speed, Wi-Fi versus hardwired, and the size of your file, it will vary in time. Now once it is downloaded onto your screen, or onto your computer, then saving will be faster. But remember, when you're using the save command, it is only saving it to the computer, but not saving it online for other teammates or team members to access. This is your communicator. It lets you communicate live to all your team members should you not be in the same space, if you need to do things like relinquish control of objects and so on. So I'm just going to minimize that. And this is an already completed model, so if I go to floor plan view, you can see there's a fair bit of work done already. Now when you go and zoom in somewhere and do some work, say I'll just draw a wall here. Looks like I'm out of the crop view. Oh no, there it is. Then I've made a change to the model. And in doing that, if I go up to my quick access bar, if I click save, it will only save it, as I said, to the current computer, but it will not upload it to BIM360. This is the synchronize option. That will save it on your computer and upload the most current version to BIM360, so your other teammate members will have access to it, to the changes you've made. Synchronize and modify settings will launch this dialog box, which identify where the location of the model is. Things like compact. This is stuff that you really don't need to access or change, so I'm going to cancel that. And if you click just synchronize now, what will happen is it will go through the process. So it's saving, reloading latest. So in case your team member has changed some information, it's downloading it, then it's taking that and uploading everything, and now it is saved. So another area where you can find that synchronize option is under collaborate. So under collaborate, one of the options is communicator, so you can turn that on and off. But you'll see synchronize with central here. You also have the ability to reload latest, so maybe you don't want to save, but you can access, say your team member says, I've made some changes. If you click reload latest, it'll take those changes, assuming they've synchronized them, and download them onto your computer so you can see them. Relinquish online refers to the fact that once you start editing an existing object, you possess it or own it. If that's the case, then nobody else can edit it. So when you relinquish all mine, you're freeing up all those objects to make them editable to other people. So if I make a change here, and let's say I delete that wall I've created, and now I've decided that I want to exit, but I haven't synchronized or saved. what will happen is when I go to close the model, I will be prompted. So there's no real way without user input to close out your model without making a decision. Synchronize with Central is pretty obvious. Save locally just does the save to your computer but doesn't upload it to BIM360 or Central. And this is do not save the model, or do not save the project, which discards any changes you've made. So if I synchronize with Central, it's gonna, this by default it went with this dialog box. If I click OK, and now it's successfully closed. You may get a prompt asking you to relinquish all yours. If I go back into the model, so I can click here now. I can click on the main recent documents section. You see a little cloud symbol right here. That means that this is going to download off of BIM360, the central model. So I don't always have to go back to the open dialog box. If you're paranoid, it's a good idea to do that. Go to the open dialog box, pick BIM360, and select your model file from there. So, going back into it, just going to close this. Let's say I add that wall back in, right here. So I own this wall. So now if I go to close it, and I synchronize with Central. No, it didn't, but sometimes it will. It'll prompt you to relinquish all your objects. And if that's the case, it's a good idea to do that just so that your team member can access that information if you happen to have gone home or are just simply not working on the project. Okay, so that is it. If you have any questions, you can email me directly, kirby.raycraft@nscc.ca.